we continue our focus on the rising crimes against women, and while focusing on the law and order situation, we are now introspecting how we need to think about this as a society and where we might be failing as a society with the rising crimes against women. We have guests joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Ranjana Kumari, who's a women activist, a writer and an academic director as well at the Center for Social Research. She's also the chairperson at Women Power Connect. We also have Dr. Nimesh Desai, the former director of Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences. We are also joined by Brinda Adige, the social and women activist, and Mr. Alok Lal, who's the author of Murder in the Lanes and former DGP of Uttarakhand. Let me first start with you, Mr. Lal. When we talk about these cases and when we see these cases, why you must have seen these cases yourself as well, and according to NCRB's own data, in rape cases and in POCSO cases as well, around 97 to 98% of the offenders are known to the victim, and even in these cases we have seen that they are usually intimate partners in these cases of horrific murders we are seeing. So according to your investigations and how much your experience tells you, why do you think intimate partners end up committing such crimes? And second question, in such cases of relationships, why are women hesitant to report what's happening against them?
Well, it would have really helped if we had an atmosphere where the women could go to the police, could go to other people in the family to share their burden, to share their problems. Unfortunately, this kind of atmosphere does not exist in our society. Despite the fact that now relationships are rather common, youngsters do get into relationships, and this is something which is not hidden from their friends. However, parents have a very important role to play in this. And that important role is to see if this relationship is based on firm grounds and there are no negatives in that. In many cases, the boy is just taking advantage of a situation. Maybe the boy is already married. Maybe the boy expects something from the girl, which perhaps the society should not be allowing. I'm glad that we had a very good discussion before this segment started, and Dr. Kiran Bedi and Ms. Maliwal brought a lot of, threw a lot of light on what is wrong with the society. I think it's a very big picture, and police is just one part of it. I think taking a person to the court of law and getting conviction is a very long process. And the entire legal system, the system in which a criminal is punished, is very flawed. It takes a very long time. For instance, this murder we are talking about has taken place this week. And maybe 5 years down the line, we'll still be talking about this as having not been resolved by then, even though the person who is said to have murdered the girl has been arrested, and we should see a charge sheet very soon. So I think a lot of system correction needs to be done.
Right, and on that point, Mr. Lal, I want to get in Brinda Adige as well. And when we talk about these cases happening in people who are in intimate relationships, why do you think women who are in relationships hesitate to report? Do you think the society at large isolates women in relationships, especially women who might be in live-in relationships, like we saw in the case of Shraddha Walkar? So does the society hesitate to interfere? In Shraddha Walkar case, she spoke out to so many of her friends. She even spoke out to her family that she's facing abuse in her relationship. She even went out to the police, but nothing happened. And in the end, she ended up getting murdered. In even this case of the 16-year-old, we saw so many people were passing by, but nobody interfered. So do you think the society is just isolating women and not helping them out at all, even if they see this happening in front of their eyes?
Yes, to a very large extent. The society, our families, our communities, and including the justice system mechanisms are all very, very patriarchal. And given this patriarchal scenario, the burden of proof and this whole shaming, maligning, character assassination, all of that is only the woman. So like you spoke about Shraddha's case, she's gone to the police, she spoke to her friends, she also spoke with a lot of other people, and nobody addressed it in the serious manner that it must be. Because the police also for whatever reasons, domestic violence does not seem to be part of their purview. It is the woman has to go to court. So when does the police enter? Police will come in only if there is threat to life, which means if my partner, spouse, husband beats me up, it is not considered threat to life. It is considered part of the life, married or partnership life landscape. That attitude prevails even today. And that gets reiterated again and again, both because of our families and communities, and also because of the media. And many times, leaders and politicians speak a language of misogyny and sexism, reiterating violence against women as if they are problems and issues of women and not anybody else. So crimes against women are not treated as a crime. They continue to be treated as something that is done in the family, something that is done in a relationship, in a partnership. So we do not want to address it as a crime.
Right. You've very rightly pointed that out. We have normalized domestic violence to such an extent that if it's happening, people think that's a family's business and not my business to interfere. Isn't it, Dr. Nimesh? Is that what the society at large is now thinking, that it's just been normalized, that we don't need to interfere? On the other side, if you can also tell us about this toxic masculinity that is rising in these cases, we are seeing that these cases end up happening as men can't take no for an answer.
Sure. The first point that you made and that's been made is what I refer to as culpable silence or culpable non-action. Situations where individuals or groups ought to intervene or act do not do so. Apathy, other factors. So that's really one worrying factor. To repeat myself, culpable inaction, culpable non-action, or silence is really dangerous, and that's setting in more and more. About the fact that you said about men not being able to take a no, yes, there is this psychological concept of frustration tolerance that unfortunately is gender related and power based. And so the ability to tolerate frustration or take a no, unfortunately suffers. In addition to all the factors that have been made today, there is also this issue of criminal susceptibility. There are individuals who are psychobiologically, genetically susceptible. Can we somehow derive mechanisms to identify them in advance and take them into care? That's a difficult job, but all transitional societies will have to do that.
Right. And Dr. Ranjana Kumari, now that we've addressed all the problems, what do you think are the solutions to change this mentality of the society at large, to not isolate women and to interfere whenever we see crime happening?
Well, when you look around, nothing much has changed. We have been talking about toxic masculinity for 40 years now, as far as my life goes, working for gender issues. But, what is important here are two things. One, of course, that we need to know why people did not interfere. When a woman is getting beaten up, or a woman is being stabbed, or a woman is being harassed, people around think that she deserves it. So, that's the mindset in Indian society that we suffer. We think that if woman is being punished, she must have done something wrong. And that's why you see, even I saw two people running away from that scene instead of calling the police. People were around and nobody tried to help her. So this is a woman who must have done something wrong, who's been getting beaten up or stabbed or whatever. So this kind of a psychology happens. And then other thing that has become bad to worse is that every issue today of violence, domestic violence, all kinds of criminalization and criminal, vendetta against women is being seen as and put into the category of love jihad or something. It's all given deflected. This is deflecting from the real issue. And that is why, and also there is a general environment of benign neglect of what is happening to women in India today. Generally, you all have been active, and all of us sitting on the panel know that there is any issue that is happening, whether it is wrestlers issue, whether it is issue of all those murders that happen, and lakhs and lakhs of cases reported on domestic violence, rape cases. Generally, environment has been created where women are responsible. We blame her for what is happening to her and not pay any attention. You must not have heard a single statement worth any seriousness from anywhere in the country by senior leaders, politicians who are supposed to lead this country even once.
Right.
About
That's the
women of
message
India.
we're giving out, that if you just make the effort to complain, to interfere when such a case is happening, that can save somebody's life. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. That's all we have for you in this segment. More news coming up on the other side.